Okay.
There we are. I wasn't sure how this was going to work. I've never done it before.
You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So, not any more beautiful than before, just the same amount of beauty, and I haven't seen you in a long time, so you haven't aged it one bit.
Well, thank you. I'm now 30.
Oh,
so
gee!
I know.
I thought
It's weird to say that.
you were a teenager when I knew you.
I was early 20s.
Wow.
Very early. Like fresh 20.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
10 years.
70.
Well, you rock 70, I must say.
70, baby. I was there. I was a hippie in the 60s. San Francisco. 67, I was in Moscow. Registered for the U.S. draft as a war protest. Went all the way to Russia.
Wow.
From San Jose, California, which was Silicon Valley. So it was kind of like... Anyway,
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but it must have been fun. Anyway, just so you know, this is the Sam Bell Show, and the Sam Bell Show is about elevating consciousness one soul at a time. And there's two topics, and they're basically field reporters who observe something that they feel has enhanced consciousness, and they report what they observed. Could be good, could be painful, could be super, who knows. And then their opinions. So it's like two different things.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're a field reporter. And then the second topic is the most underutilized resource on the planet, women. I mean, if the women thing comes up, the consciousness comes up, and the women have the power, you know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
Yeah.
So, and there's no time constraints. This is the internet. What happens is you make the report, and then Jarrett and Fernando edit it, and we try to put something together. It might be 2 minutes, it might be 2 hours. And then it's on the internet so that people can benefit from it. And I have a show with a gentleman that had a near-death experience. That's show number 1. It's really good. You'll enjoy that one if you haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
No,
Good.
I just saw the one that you posted, I think it was yesterday, about the lady that has Lily, the little pup.
Oh, that.
And,
yeah. That's
yeah,
not a show. That's not a show. That was just something that happens a lot. We just put it on there. Show is like a big production. We put a bunch of stuff on there. But anyway, what was it like? What was your feelings about that?
I kind of got in tune with what she was saying, and I feel like whoever is the main one that was in her house was an old man with Alzheimer's. But she told him to go, and he left. But there are a lot of people that walk through because they're just checking it out.
Your timing's
I
perfect.
kind of got in tune with what she
Your
was
timing is
saying.
perfect. Please
Yeah.
keep talking about this. We're off the topic of whatever we're going to talk about, but what you're describing fits in exactly with what's hot right now, because that's Instagram TV. Is the lady?
Yeah. Well, I felt like the one that was she noticed the most was an elderly gentleman with Alzheimer's, and then the one that led Lily to the bathroom is a little old woman.
Cool. They're probably together.
But then there's just a lot of people that come in and out that I can't really put my finger on. But those two seem to spend the most time. But they kind of come in and out.
For the viewers, they're like, what are these people talking about? Where are they coming from? So let me back up a bit. I met Rachel years ago when she was in her early 20s. She's 24 now. You're 24, right? 24.
Yes, I'm 24.
24. And we were working in a hospital in Eureka, California. Lovely Eureka. And she moved to the big city. Where are you now, the big city?
I'm actually in Soldotna, Alaska.
Oh, I knew that. That was my lead-in.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been here I moved up here shortly after I met you because my grandmother was
Mm-hmm.
coming to the end of her life and I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to take care of her. So I
Mm-hmm.
moved up here. Met my
And thank you for
husband, my
paying.
baby.
Thank you for paying me back the money,
Oh,
sweetheart.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody ever pays me back except ladies, and so
Well, I mean, you
you
helped
need.
me in a moment and you gotta, what goes around comes around. I'm
Oh
not about
yeah.
to steal.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah. So now you. What year was that?
Oh gosh, 2008, 9?
2008. Yeah. Did I ever channel your angel? No.
You had me write on a piece, sign my signature.
Then I
You
did.
said,
Then I did.
yeah. I don't think you ever did my spirit guide, but I know that it's a man and a woman.
Cool.
They're in their 30s. I don't know their names. I probably do, but don't realize I do.
Hang on. Let me go back to putting this in context.
Okay.
So this is Rachel. She was a young child working in the hospital with gloves and hand washing. Are you going to be a nurse? Are you working to be a nurse, or are you a nurse now?
I'm a CNA.
Cool.
It's in my future, but life throws curveballs, and I can't push the universe back. So when it happens, it happens.
Are you talking about ex-boyfriends?
Ex-boyfriends?
Are you
No.
talking
Well,
about
life
ex-boyfriends
circumstances.
with curveballs?
Well, just life. I mean, I had a baby, and then just things happening that school would have been too much, and I need to give it my all. So it's life.
You're an honest Alaskan woman, right? You can,
I'd like to think so.
yeah, you can discharge a sidearm or help somebody with tire chains or
Yep.
get drunk.
Done both. Done all three.
Anyway, so Rachel and I worked at a hospital, and she was a CNA, and she was holding her own, and she decided to escape, and she escaped. Bless her heart. She was in a situation that wasn't too nice. It was not a good situation, right? The more loving you are, the more difficult your life is going to be. She was the sweetest, cutest little peach on the third floor, and you were married, right?
Yep.
Living with your mother-in-law.
Oh no, I was living with my mom.
Oh.
We turned the garage into a mother-in-law unit. It was when the economy crashed.
Yeah,
real
yeah,
bad.
yeah. Especially Eureka. Yeah.
And I didn't want her to lose her house, so
Yeah.
we all kind of ganged up as a family and paid the bills.
Did they make it okay?
Yeah, she
Good.
still owns a house now.
Good.
Just, you gotta come together as a family in times like that.
Good. I say prayers for people in Eureka. Anyway, so she bailed and went to Alaska, and has a beautiful son who's so smart and skinny. He's skinny, right?
He's tall. He's a string bean. He's
Yeah, I know.
super tall too.
I know,
He's
I
gonna
know.
be a tall guy.
I know. He's gonna beef up here. About 14, you'll be going, you listen to me.
He'll be able to throw me over his shoulder. You're like, no.
Anyway, so the reason that we are connecting here is I had some UFO experiences, and I mentioned that the last one was in Black Rock in Trujillo, Peru, and a gentleman called in the UFO, made sounds that made Orion go from a little golf ball sized light to a softball sized light. Just went on, off. And it was like no question. And we were doing a meditation on the beach. So I mentioned Orion, and then you emailed me and said that your son is named Orion. So we started to chat just recently, and I shared with her that Sylvia Brown indicated that she was a Pleiadian from Pleiades, and that her ministers and bishops, and I was a minister in training at the time, are from Pleiades. And I just kind of like, it was so over my head. It's just like, okay, I eat Cheerios. Yeah, I eat Cheerios, with, you're from Pleiades. Okay, I don't know. And you mentioned that you felt that you were from Pleiades. And my understanding is that our Lord, the gentleman, our Lord Jesus the Christ, was also from Pleiades. So, more loving you are, the more difficult your life is. So,
Yeah. I've come to realize that as I'm getting older.
so that's why you have these feelings, these talents, these abilities to perceive these things.
Mm-hmm.
And you're female, which means that it might be a lot more intense than the stuff I'm picking up.
Well, do you remember me talking to you about the number 3? How it just, my life revolves around it. I'm gravitated to it. Number 3, just, there's all these signs that I just can't help but not ignore.
Now, what do you think the 3 is?
I don't think I can put it into words. It's so strong that it comes in a symbol.
Yeah. I'm listening.
Or a number, I think it's the maybe not creation, but
It's
the it's the core. It's the core.
It's the female aspect of divinity. 3, 6, and 9. Here's 9. This is the female aspect of divinity. And here's 6. Major arcana. So I was just saying you're a female. So it's like...
Yeah.
Now it sounds like, oh, my life is going to be real hell. Oh, thanks, Sam. But I need to emphasize that I can't make a verbal description of the benefits that you'll derive on the other side, other than to compare the birth pain you had of birthing Orion and how much you love him now. That pain was something I cannot imagine. It's past now. Mm-hmm. And your love for Orion, if someone were to say, it's Orion or the birth pain, would you do it again? You wouldn't even contemplate.
Yeah.
If they say that it's a birth pain and your own life, you wouldn't even contemplate. Say, I'll take the birth pain and my life, but just don't touch my baby. So when you get to the other side, I'm just telling you, it's really good. It's so good. It's like, ooh.
Yeah.
It has to be that way. It has to be that way. I mean, it is, but I'm just so you know, because you're so loving and the stuff you've been through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This little life that I've lived so far has been very challenging. It's one hurdle after another. I tell you.
Yep.
So it's constant jumping midair. There's no landing. So.
It feels that
I'm
way.
hoping it calms down at some point so I can get a second breath for the next jump. But.
Well, recognize that those are feelings. Those are accurate feelings. But you didn't sit down and cry and give up.
No.
There are people, there's millions of people in the United States right now that just sat down and cried and gave up and didn't have to do what you did.
Yeah, that's true.
So, now, the 2 topics, anything you've observed, and an opinion, and the elevating the most underutilized resource on the planet, women. Now, in those 2 categories, what's your scoop on Orion and Pleiades?
So, I'm still learning. I'm just going by what I feel.
Yeah.
And I know.
Yeah.
I feel that they've come to me many times in dreams. There's some that I know I can't remember. And they'll come to me here and there, but they've come to me rather recently. It was the dream I mentioned to you in messaging last night.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting on a roof with friends, and we were looking at the stars, and the Pleiades just came down bright, like zoomed in, and as they got closer, they were red. And everybody was scared because it's like something's coming at us. And I was like, oh no, it's just the Seven Sisters. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. They're trying to communicate to us. And as I said that, the sky turned into what I would consider a hologram. I don't know what to compare it to, but a hologram sort of thing that was round, but it was 3D, and there were symbols. It reminded me of like Viking runes or old math symbols. There was sound of vibration that was so at times high pitched that the human ear can't hear it, or it was so low that it was just a rumble. And I was trying to get everybody around me to calm down as they were climbing off the roof, and just tell them that they're just trying to communicate. We just don't understand it yet. Where we are in this world of time and consciousness, us human race don't understand it. But don't be scared.
Yeah. Can I interrupt you?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I think I'm not disagreeing. I just that you're ready. They're not ready.
No, I agree.
And that's a pretty cool thing, because it's like, they're like, well, we don't want to scare the hell out of them. The number one rule for off-planet entities is do not frighten the natives.
Yeah.
That's the number one rule, because they just go nuts. So they figured out crop circles. So we can do crop circles all over the place, and then they can look at it and go, oh, look how pretty that is. That's how they're trying to merge into the consciousness of Earth pilgrims. So,
but I also feel like it was it wasn't just me. There are other people around the world in that dream that heard it too. So the only way I can express it was kind of like I said, it was kind of like a public hearing, like where I'm trying to communicate, but they were going above what society has to offer.
Yeah.
Above control of the mind, TV, social media. They're going to your subconscious while you're sleeping.
Yeah.
And only certain people can hear it. But in that dream, I knew that I wasn't the only one that heard it or saw it.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, why can't
anybody could hear it that was open for those frequencies.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with a gentleman named Rupert Sheldrake?
Was that the
Morphic resonance? Rupert Sheldrake.
I have not heard of it. But is that the one you shared with me last night?
I don't know. But Rupert Sheldrake is a proponent of something called morphic resonance. And so what you're describing is, ages ago, there were people no different from yourself that had Pleiadian origins that were on the planet. And they too were Earth pilgrims and were kind of safe from experiencing the hell of it. Because if you really knew how nice it was over there, you don't want to be here. So you're lucky you don't know what it's like over there, because you don't want to be here.
That's kind of how I feel. I'm so fed up with this.
No, that's how it is.
I'm just like, can I get off the ride?
Yeah.
Ferris wheel's boring. Like, that's how I feel. I'm just kind of like waiting, like, all right.
Those are feelings. Yeah. Those are very legit feelings. The way it works is it goes feelings, thinking, sensing. So you sense something, then you think it, then you feel it. So at the very bottom is feeling, thinking, sensing, and then the next one is spiritual will, and then spiritual love. And then that's kind of where the Christ consciousness zone is, quote unquote. And then above that, kind of an upper zone, is your spiritual understanding, and then your spiritual purpose. And then the idea of subconscious is kind of not really a real idea. It's kind of, your consciousness is one super duper duper consciousness, because your heart, your blood pressure, your digestion, all this stuff's working. You got a billion brain cells doing trillions and trillions of interactions, even when you're asleep. It's like, ah.
Yeah.
So in conclusion, morphic resonance combined with Dr. Emoto, the gentleman with the water, the water. Are you familiar with Dr. Emoto and water? Water crystals? Oh, it's so cool. You got to check it out.
Okay, I will.
Please, you absolutely have to. Dr. Emoto water crystals, because you're mostly water. And then, the gentleman I mentioned to you yesterday was the guy in Switzerland who's been working with the Pleiadians.
That's it. I didn't know the fellow's name or anything, but I remember my dad talking about it at one point because I told him my dreams because I knew he wouldn't think I was crazy. And he mentioned there's a guy in Sweden, and I was like, oh, all right, yeah, I'll YouTube him sometime, but I'm so busy.
That was your
and
dad?
Kind of like, I already know. I don't know, but I just know. So why YouTube it?
No, you do know, sweetheart. You do know. Because the information's out there for everybody to access if you can be open to it. See, also, you're kind of isolated in Alaska. You can see the stars at night sometimes, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
See, I'm in Lima. It's between 10 million and 15 million people. There's 250,000 taxi cabs.
Oh, my gosh.
So forget seeing the stars.
Yeah, you won't.
But when you go way out in the desert, like towards Machu Picchu and that kind of stuff, they have these places that's like aliens go there. Okay, so back to the topic.
Okay.
So I want to say
I've got a lot to talk about.
I want to say that, well, that's good. I want to say that you're using the term dreams, DREAMS. Those are not dreams. Those are telepathic.
No, I agree.
Those are.
They're not dreams.
Yeah.
But just to put it in a way for other people that may not understand.
Don't worry about them.
Okay.
You go to the heavy duty stuff, sweetheart.
Okay, I will.
Okay, so what's the Orion story? What's going on there?
With my son or the stars?
Just anything with Orion.
I feel it's home.
Mm.
I can't put it into words. It's home. My whole life has been wrapped around those 3 stars of Orion's belt. I've just been drawn to it. I feel that they constantly communicate that they're here at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes there's moments where I'm in a grocery store or just somewhere where there's a lot of people, and I'll stop and I'll have a moment and I'll really feel like I don't belong here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll see people that I might recognize, that I feel like I know them, but I've never met them before.
Mm-hmm.
And they will make eye contact with me.
Yeah.
That's my alarm clock's thing. I need to... Here, hold on.
I'm not going anywhere. Ooh, nice picture.
That was my alarm.
That's you in Alaska.
Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. My alarm clock was letting me know I need to message you. But where were I saying? What was I saying?
You were saying that you always felt that you had a connection with Orion's belt.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, your guardian angel's going, yeah, you figured it out yet? Mm-hmm. You are, right? You wouldn't be stuck on that if you weren't.
No, I wouldn't. And I feel like Orion and the Seven Sisters and the Pleiades are kind of hand in hand. They're the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're, they kind of run the show, pretty much.
And the Earth needs that now.
Yeah.
And you're a female. See, this fits in the show perfectly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fits in the show perfectly. Okay, so the pyramids have a connection to Orion.
Yeah, they do. I feel like it's been a major communication for thousands of years. The pyramids. There's just a lot of things that you put 2 and 2 together that make sense. The number 3 comes down to the divinity, as you said.
Yeah.
It's the stars are aligning.
Yeah, the female aspect.
Mm-hmm. There's just, it's a lot. Some of it's so overwhelming I can't even put it into words.
Well, you better, because we're doing an interview. We need the words, sweetheart. Well, I'll stall you for a second while you think of something. I'm in New Zealand, right? I have a meditation center on a little island, Waiheke Island. And I have a home in Murray's Bay, just over the bridge from Auckland. It's beautiful. Rains. Whew. And I'm just doing angel stuff up the yin-yang, big time. And so I'm like, I'm going to ask Daisy, where should I go to make the biggest improvement for humanity on the planet? I'm like, you do it, man. This is going to do it. So I get a global map, big piece of map, or a big map, and I have the desk. So I put it on there. I get up at 3 o'clock in the morning, do my meditation. Daisy, show me on the map. Daisy goes, right there. It's western Arizona, kind of the northern part of the west side of Arizona. But there's nothing there. There's Vegas, blah, blah, blah. But right there, there's just nothing. I'm like, cool. Oh, interesting. Ooh. So I go to the bookstore, get 2 more maps, Arizona maps, from the nice bookstore in Auckland. Get up the next night, 3 o'clock, same spot. There's nothing there. But, and then the other map, same spot. I'm like, cool, something's going on right there. But there's no roads, there's nothing there, no cities, nothing, you know. So I had an English girlfriend, so I'm like, hey, I'm going to go back to fly to San Francisco. You want to come with me? And she's like, yeah. Right, because we were doing angel stuff. She's all, wow, so cool. So, buy a Toyota truck, 4-wheeler, start to go to the spot. It's nowhere. And I'm like, I don't know, if I go here and the truck breaks, you know, nobody's going to find us. Or, no. So we go to Sedona. Anyway, some people come up and say, hey, we were expecting you. You got to come with us. I'm like, oh, okay. So we go to this meeting. They give me some papers, and at the bottom page is the spot that I'm going to on the map is the spot I was found out in New Zealand. And it's something about Orion and some agreement between somebody, and we got to complete the contract and got to go to this spot and bring this little spring thing, looks like a little top, play some little recorder thing, and say some prayers. I'm like, far out. So we did it. I recorded it. Okay, big deal. 10 years later, 15 years later, I'm at Machu Picchu. This guy comes out, you Sam? I go, yeah. I'm, how does he know me? And then this other guy comes out, you Sam? I go, yeah. And this other guy, they go, well, you channel angels and blah, blah, blah. We talked to this other guy, channel. Here's an award, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm like, cool. I go into Machu Picchu. I come back. They go, we want you to talk at this UFO conference. I go, sure. It's in Trujillo. No problem. A couple of months go by, big flood. Trujillo gets flooded out. Just flood. It's awful. He goes, well, let's go there and help them. Instead of going to doing the UFO thing. I go, cool. So we fly to Trujillo. And he goes on the way, I'm going to call it a UFO. He said it like, you know, like there's good spaghetti at this restaurant. You know, I'm going to call it a UFO, right? So, and he speaks Spanish. He doesn't speak English, so it's translated. Okay, so we go there and he goes, we're going to go to Black Rock. I'm like, ooh, cool, there's Hard Rock. You know, Hard Rock Casino in Tampa. You know, there's Hard Rock here. I'm thinking Black Rock, right? So we get in this car and go out the middle of nowhere, other side of nowhere, past nowhere, and then outside of nowhere. There's chickens and a couple people. That's Black Rock. And I'm like, oh, what the hell? So we hang out there for the day. And about 7:30, he goes, we're going to go to the beach. We're going to go do it. I'm like, okay. So I've got a big knife in this pocket, the biggest knife I got in this pocket, and a K-bar cane that's like you could tear a car apart with. And I'm out in the middle of nowhere in the dark with this guy. And I don't know what, I'm like, so.
What am I getting myself into here?
Yeah, I don't, so we're supposed to meditate. So I'm like, I'm an Egyptian position. I'm like, blessed be the name of Father God, whatever. And so he's going, roar, roar, or something like that, right? Okay. So finally, I hear this like quad runner way down the beach, right? The wind's blowing this way, and I'm like, ooh, somebody on a quad runner, But then it didn't come any closer. And the wind was coming this direction, so I figured he should have been coming closer, right?
Yeah.
What's with this quad runner? And then I'm thinking, it's a dirt bike, and the guy's driving in circles. I'm like, what this dark as hell? What's this guy in the middle of nowhere driving in a dirt bike in circles? So I thought, well, I'll open my eyes and look. So I open my eyes and look, and the noise is coming out of this guy, Guillermo. He's making it with his mouth. And I'm like, and I'm a speech path, right? 40 years, I'm like, I never heard sounds like that, right? So then he's going, and then I'm like, what the hell, man? I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, shush. Nice guy. And so then he looks at me and goes, look at Orion. I don't know Orion I don't know. I'm a Big Dipper right in the moon, right? I don't know Orion, but for some reason I know Orion, right? I look up, and the bottom star on the right goes like I described. And the first thing I thought was, how big was that thing?
Yeah.
How big was that thing, right? So I go back, my spouse is there, Blanca, and my cameraman who didn't go with me, Jarrett, was there, and I go, we saw a UFO, and they're like, complete oblivious. And I tried to talk about it, and they were like in a trance. I was like, check that out. Check it out. They're in a trance. I was like, oh my God. Okay, so that's my story about Orion. So it's very real to me. That's the first time I've ever seen anything like that. I can't imagine what kind of power it must be.
It's pretty powerful, I think. So I feel like too. So let's go back to the dream thing. I've had dreams also where I'm on the coast of California, and I look up, and it's just like watching a highway. They're going up and down, and they're traveling up and down, and I wasn't scared. I wasn't like, oh my gosh, those are UFOs. It was like looking at another highway, and then at night with lights, They're traveling a lot up and down the coast. It's quite a busy highway. What else? I've had
a comment about that. The United States kind of leads the world. I know it's egotistical. China's got more money, and Russia's bigger and is more powerful, but the United States leads a lot of stuff, especially with movies and stuff. California leads the United States. So there's all kinds of extraterrestrials, ultra-terrestrials, discarnate spirit guides. They're trying to infuse, like you're saying, bring in a higher consciousness.
Yeah, I feel like they go into the ocean too. There's a lot of activity in the ocean. But they're in a different, what would be the word, wavelength. So
dimension.
They can travel from air to water quite easy without it being like a big...
Yeah, dimension.
Physical, dimension, that's the one I'm looking for.
Yeah.
They can come in and out like it's nothing. I also have a lot of dreams or premonitions of being in what appears to be a big airplane, but really it's a space shuttle, I think. And there's seats that are just in rows. It reminds me of like going to Hawaii where there's huge rows of seats, And,
9.
But there's like 4 or 5. But I mean, in one long row, there's at least 20.
Yeah.
So there's just hundreds of seats for people coming in and out. And I'm always early because I don't want to miss the flight. And I'm waiting. And there's a lot of people slowly getting on. And I could very vividly remember looking behind me and seeing all the empty seats still. And then I've had one also where this one I feel like I will come back again. This isn't my last life on earth. I will definitely come back um, when the human race is being definitely tried by storms and just Earth. I mean, it's going to be another, global warming is coming.
Pole shift.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a big, big shift, and the human race will be might be wiped out. And I'm going to try. I come in as in the dream. In the dream, I'm in like let's see, where am I? It's dark. There's a lot of wind and snow, and in the far distance, I see tornadoes coming off of mountains. I mean, just the weather is, Mother Nature is mad, and I'm in a jumpsuit of some sort. I remind myself of like a flight nurse because I'm there to help. And I remember thinking exactly, I look over at my friend, who actually I know in this life. His name's Derek, and he's actually a flight nurse. So maybe that kind of what triggered my human to understand it compared to not truly being able to, But I looked at Derek and I thought, okay, we're going to get off and we're going to help him. And I got off this helicopter. I don't know what it is. It's a ship of something. And I've got this jumpsuit. It's dark gray. And I get on the ground and I realize, oh shit, in this world I have anxiety too. Like, dang it. God dang, I thought I was going to get away with it. This next world I was going to, this next life is going to be a little easier. But no, I had anxiety and I started to get scared because I realized, oh my gosh, this is scary out here.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing people, there was a woman with 3 children that was trying to get in a car and they were trying to leave town. And we were trying to guide these humans. But that's the weird thing is like, I don't compare myself to a human.
That's what I said. There's them. That's them.
There's them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to help them.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand.
I'm not stroking your ego because that's the way God made you, the way you are right now. You don't get up and say, I'm going to be this way. This is the way you naturally are. So.
Yeah, and in all honesty, I don't talk a lot about it to people because a lot of people don't understand. And it frustrates me because it's like, I don't have time. So when you asked me to do an interview, I was like, okay, I'll do it. There's someone that wants to listen. I'll do it.
Well, no, sweetheart. You know how many people hold thought forms that you and I share, and some of the thought forms that you have that I don't have yet because you're female, you're going to be ahead of the ball game in terms of receptivity. But you know how many people are just like us that are just like you and don't say anything about it? But they can go on the internet and type in angels, Rachel, Alaska, or, Mama Bear or whatever. Orion.
Yeah, you're right. There probably are a lot of people.
And then they can listen to
have a
you.
hard time relating.
They can listen to you and send that across. And what happens is 100 years from now, people are going to look at that and go, man, she was sure forward thinking.
You're right.
People would have thought she was nuts.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh yeah, it's real.
Yeah.
But see, that means everyone's consciousness has to elevate to make it really work. And that just means we have to learn to treat each other with respect because we're all one.
We really are. We don't. When you hurt the person in front of you, you're hurting yourself. And there's a lot that people need to learn here.
Okay, I'm going to shift the topic to the most underutilized resource on the planet. So, in my opinion, that's women. And the elevation of consciousness is going to be dependent on women because men are not going to figure it out. So, do you have any suggestions for women? Well, you're an example. You're in Alaska, You got out of a rough situation. You have a beautiful son. Who does? Has he had his mouth washed out with soap?
I've actually threatened it.
I know. That's why I asked. I figured.
He's seen the wooden spoon.
You-
But he has not seen the... Yeah, I had to take it that level.
We'll edit this. Oh, you're Alaska. That's right. You're still. You have stuff like dirt there and trees.
Yeah, we have dirt, rocks. That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
So now the Alaska woman provides some lessons that are different than the city. Am I right?
Yeah, I feel like here I can escape. I can go to the ocean and not hear a car. I can go into the woods and truly not hear anything.
Wow.
Being one with the earth and not having any disturbance of
Wow.
others
Wow.
I can definitely get a lot more in tune with
Wow.
what's happening.
Yeah. That's important
I
now
think
while
that's
you're.
what we're all lacking.
That's important now while your son's growing up,
Yes.
because this is a critical time for shaping his male mind. Because that's where the power is, you know. Mothers kind of getting their boys to realize responsibility and that sort of stuff.
Yep. I agree. Yeah. Back to the woman. I feel like it's a domino effect with one mother, woman, sister, aunt can show love that is a ripple effect. But there's definitely some molds that need to be broken. I feel the female aspect is so important because it should in almost every time, it comes from a very loving place.
Maternal.
Peaceful love, yes. And it should, when you have your children, like you said, it comes down to my son and how he should treat women, how he should, respect women and know that they have such a huge role in the next generation. So it's a continuous thing that should go on and on in time.
It will.
If that makes sense.
No, it will. It will. See, before, no one could sit on the phone and the iPad and record something that somebody could watch 2 million times for free. You had to go to the fence and talk to the dude. Hey, don't be disrespectful to my daughter, right? But now they can watch and people can go, yeah. And then people that see this stuff going up and down the coast and are meditating and having telepathic rapport with entities from Pleiades or Orion or wherever, on purpose to be more peaceful. What will happen is when the pole shifts, when the volcano stuff, when the earthquake stuff happens, people suddenly, they want to find God.
Yeah.
They get religion or whatever, like, now. We just had 8.4 earthquakes. Oh, Jesus, please help me. So all of a sudden people are like, spirituality. Yeah, I've always been spiritual, especially now. So we're at the right time and place. And what we're sending out through the media with ethical use of electricity is not scripted. No actors. No bullshitting. Oop, no bullshitting. Alaskan girls don't bullshit. Oh, maybe they might.
We don't take bullshit. That's one thing we don't do.
Now, is the spoon you use, is the wooden spoon like this, or is it one of those,
It's a wooden spoon. I cook with it.
Oh, good. It's legal.
It's legal.
Okay, well, we're gonna
Right
wrap up here. Anything else you want to say about consciousness or females or Orion or Pleiades or anything that you would like to promote? If there's a charity or something that you'd like to mention, you think's important, or just anything at all.
I don't know of any charities. Real quick with the Pleiades, I kind of mentioned it in our messaging last night. There's what would I be considering a man that comes, and he's got like few people standing behind him, and there's a woman.
Cool.
They come. They communicate with me a few times. A lot of it I can't really remember offhand. It'll come to me at times that I'm like, oh, that's right, that's what we talked about, and I'll try to write it down, and then I'll forget. So it's kind of, it's locked away. I feel like they've come to me a few times to kind of guide me in situations that told me, you know, don't do this or don't do that, or let me help you. I had a woman with long, blonde, beautiful blonde hair who's always helped me. And I've recognized her many times in dreams and always looked at her and said, I know you. And she just smiles.
Aren't their hair something else? You can't describe their hair.
It's like almost a beautiful silver, but blonde.
Yeah, I know.
And it's bright. It's its own hair.
It's heavenly.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, ooh.
Yeah,
Look at that.
She communicated telepathically.
Yeah.
Like I already knew what she was saying, and she'd just look at me and smile.
The modality for telepathy is unconditional love. The more unconditional love you can resonate amplitude-wise, the more telepathic you are.
Yeah.
So I would assume that would be kind of a high-ranking angel.
I haven't seen her lately. It's been a few years. But just recently, I think they allowed my grandmother to communicate to me. I haven't talked to my grandma in a long time. Right after she passed, I talked to her a little bit. But I haven't spoke to her in a long time, and she actually came to me the other night and held my hand and reassured me that there's a next level. Don't give up.
It's worth it.
It is.
Yeah, it's
she
worth
was in
it.
the driver's seat, and I was in a passenger seat of a vehicle, and she was just reassuring me that it's, don't give up. And but it's almost like I know you want to wrap up real quick.
No, that's keep yakking. You got it. You got some words, more words. Come on.
Okay, sorry, I kind of got.
Get it out, sweetie.
I don't really talk to people.
Get it out. Get it out. We got another 7 hours. Don't worry.
Okay, I feel like I came to this earth looking for someone. But I kind of mentioned it too. I feel like right as I was born, they were already halfway through their life. And by the time I could even find them, they might have passed. So I'm just kind of waiting to get off this ride. But I also know that while I'm here, I have to I got to help somehow. So I work as a CNA. I help people in the time of where they're the most vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
I communicate with them, and I heal through voice and touch, just being there and presence.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned to you, I tend to do pretty well with mentally ill people.
Mm-hmm.
We do a lot of, patients that have psych issues, and they need someone to sit with them to keep them safe or whatever the situation is. And I can bring them to a level of a reality that we both can understand. And they understand a lot more, and they cooperate a lot more.
Yeah.
They want to help themselves more. But at the same time, I'm also here to help animals. I mean, animals are such a forgotten thing on this earth that people don't pay attention to. So I constantly, foster animals to make sure that they're okay. So while I'm here on this earth, I'm trying to just help as much as I can, and show guidance in ways. And by doing this too, there's going to be people that I probably will never meet, and they'll see this and they'll touch base a little bit. So this is kind of a way for me reaching out too, I suppose.
It's a field report.
Yeah.
It's a field report. And it's from someone who's speaking from the heart. So other people that listen to this, that their heart resonates, are going to go, yeah, that's right, that's true. That's right, that's true. That's right. It's not like an actress who's trying to pretend for something. except that you're a CNA, which means you work with human beings who are screwed up. You worked in a locked psychiatric, geriatric?
Yeah, I
90,
have.
99 bed? Or,
Not 99. Right now, I'm actually working in ICU,
Ooh.
so I'm dealing with very sick patients.
ay, chihuahua.
But once in a while, I go to like med surg.
Yeah.
That's where most of the psych patients are.
Yeah.
But I'll go there.
How many times do you wash your hands a day?
Who knows? I carry lotion in my locker because my hands are so dry.
I know. The good lotion, too. Don't compromise.
It's bad, yeah. But, oh gosh, probably 50 times, maybe more.
Well, to wrap up, if you don't mind, what I want to say is that you mentioned a couple times that you feel this, and I'm saying it's just a feeling. It's okay. It's just a feeling. This is driving me. This is a feeling. It's okay. Yeah, I know it's a feeling. It's okay. I'm at the end of my road. Yeah, it's just a feeling. It's okay. Now, those are actual feelings, and I'm saying those are feelings. It's at the bottom level. So when you're working with a person who's severely ill or mentally unstable or going to be passing on, you can't bullshit them. And so when you come in and you have the actual feeling of, I love you, I'm here to help you no matter what it is. Is it poop? Is it constipation? Is it your pillow? Is it the sun? What is it? I'm here to help you no matter what, sweetheart, or whatever. You know, is it you want some pancake syrup on your pancakes, or what is it? I'll get it, whatever it is. And so that's an actual feeling that you have that's the duality of this pain stuff. You know, you're not Nurse Ratched. No, you're not Nurse Ratched. So for extra dimensional entities that are trying to help mankind, they're going to look for people whose consciousness they can help with. And so you're one of those people. That's why you're the beautiful soul that you are. That's why you're on this program. So if anybody writes and
I hope you got some footage.
If anybody writes in, her name is Rachel. If you want to send a big check, I will forward it directly to her. I want to take a piece of the action. Promise that. Anything else, sweetheart?
No, I think we touched some things. I'm sure eventually I'll be like, oh, I got to tell you this, or, we can
Well,
chat again.
you're officially a field reporter, so you're not getting paid, and you're responsible for everything you say, but that's cool with me. So all you got to do is just email me, and we'll do this again.
All right.
Okay,
Edit
sweetheart.
the wooden spoon thing.
Or what's going to happen?
That's so funny.
Just be safe. You know I love you, okay?
I love you too. It's good to talk to you again.
Okay.
See your face. I haven't seen you in forever.
I'm 70. You're 30?
I'm 30. I know. Before I know it, I'll be 70 though. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.